Hey guys, it's the Life of an Average Joe podcast. I am joined by a sleepy Nick Luck and
Yeah.
and his Brandon at this, but really sleepy Nick. Um, and we are recording.
Ooh.
This is our post follow up Superman show. As you remember, a couple weeks ago, we discussed Superman as James Gunn made his way to the DC universe. And although this was his second project, this was the first major project, the first movie launching the new DC universe. And we kind of talked about what we were expecting, what we wanted, what we might see, blah, blah, blah. Well, now the movie has been out, folks, and I will tell you right now there are spoilers ahead. So if you have not seen the movie, if you don't want to know any spoilers, any more spoilers, I highly recommend you just come back and listen to this podcast another day. Maybe listen to the first one. But if you want to dive in, we're going to dive in. You have probably about 2 minutes before we start diving into the real meat of this Superman movie. I gotta take a sip, guys. Hold on. Mm-hmm.
I messed up and watched the wrong Superman movie. I don't know why they were showing Man of Steel at my theater, but that was the only Superman movie
Was it
that. Can you imagine?
was it $1 A or no? I'm just kidding.
No, this
But
was the cheapest Superman we could have that movie.
they bring back and showed you like Superman 4: The Quest for you know.
What do you want from me? It was a Superman movie. I watched it that weekend.
So just to let you know, as of recording time. James Gunn's Superman movie did over 400 million worldwide. In the second week, it earned an estimated 57 million domestically, bringing its total to over 400 million globally. The film has also surpassed the 200 million domestically mark, according to Forbes magazine. This Superman movie, honestly, could be now. It's gonna run into some challenges starting tonight. Actually, after they listen to this, with Fantastic Four coming out. But I think this Superman movie does have potential to hit $1 billion. I don't think it will. I still think it's going to fall short. Um, but I have to be honest with you. Over 400 million in 2 weeks, not too shabby. That is a very good for James Gunn's new Superman movie. And guys, there's a lot to cover here. So as we dive into the film and dive into the to some of the spoilers and things, first and foremost, Nick, what you know, you saw the movie. We're going to get into the nerdy stuff. We're going to get into the deets. Now that you've been removed from it for several days, what is your initial reaction to the way that James Gunn handled Superman? And so far, because mind you, this is just the first movie. We don't know what his role is going to be in other films. We don't know the direction. But in this film, how did you feel diving into a universe where Superman is established, where metahumans are established, and there is no real backstory, but yet they gave us enough? What'd you think, man? I mean, like off the bat.
So in preparation, I was watching the Superman the Animated Series, and
Nice.
I'm still watching that now. And so watching that and then going to watch the movie, it was nice to kind of feel nostalgic. And that was what I was feeling when watching the Superman, because he he had that Boy Scout feel to him that Superman is meant to have, just seeing all these little bits and pieces of what Superman is meant to be. Like there's literally a scene in the movie where he saves a squirrel.
Bro, am I the only one in that moment? Do you remember the story that came out a year ago where the TikTok couple had a pet squirrel and the government of New York, bunch of jerks, um, went in and euthanized the squirrel. They killed the squirrel because they said they were not allowed to have it. And so they went in, and this, you got to Google this. This is a big deal. Go on TikTok and search it up. Am I the only one that felt like Superman? And the fact that we saw him save the squirrel, which also looked like it was ripped from the comic books, am I the only one that felt like that was a jab at the people, at the government of New York for killing the squirrel? Like, am I reaching here, or did I feel like James Gunn would absolutely do that?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, just the thought. I mean, because it could have been, it could have been anything. But the fact
Right.
that he saved a little squirrel, and I love how that kind of just cements the thought of what Superman represents, of how every single life to him matters. And it could have been a little jab too, because I mean that is pretty whack. Like a
It up.
squirrel of all things
Gotta
that they
look.
would like euthanize.
It was a big deal. No, I agree though with you. Those were the little nuances in the movie that gave us just how pure Superman was and how he is. I mean, even in the Christopher Reeves films, he saved a cat from a tree or a burning building or something. In the comic books, he did things like that. So seeing that on the big screen, it very much felt like a comic book come to life. Like they ripped the page, and I'm not just talking about comic book accuracy, costumes, or anything like that. I'm just talking about the whole feel of the movie. Very much felt like I was turning the pages of a graphic novel.
Yeah,
Um,
and he did save a, what was it, a dog? At
he did
least
say,
twice, once or twice.
yeah, he did save a dog. He saved a little girl. He saved people. It seemed like he was more reactive, or not reactive, aware, self awareness of, as he was, fighting a giant gecko and fighting, everything. He was self aware of what was happening. He saved that woman on the bridge, and
Oh,
stopped,
that scene
you know, like,
rises above the smoke. It's like, oh
oh,
yes,
there
wallpaper.
are so many critical moments like that we saw, very different than what we were used to on Zack's. Get into some of that, but yeah, I'm with you on that. He very much felt like the Boy Scout. You said it. He was a Boy Scout with power. And that was, to me, one of the coolest things to see, because we need that in Superman. You know, we need that him. We need him to be this all. He's not at that God level yet, in this film. He doesn't know the full magnitude of his powers yet. It's only been 3 years, according to this movie, that he's been on Earth, or that he's been, outed as Superman. He's been on Earth longer,
Hmm.
but he doesn't know the full magnitude yet. And it said, James Gunn made that point out very well. He had never lost a battle up until that moment. So being able to have that happen and have that mess with his psyche, we got a vulnerable Superman, which I got to admit, a lot of people, not a lot, there's some people that complained about that vulnerability, but Superman's always been vulnerable. He's always been that. So I don't know, like, to me, that was a highlight, in my opinion. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's perfect for him too, because that runs home the idea of how Superman is meant to be just like everyone else too. He is, yeah, he has powers, but he is a human just like everyone else human. But I really love that. I think James Gunn did really good with establishing that, and it's only been 3 years, so he's like you said, he's still trying to figure things out, and I think losing this fight really, in a way, makes Superman think of, I don't want to use the word humble, because that makes it feel like he had an ego or something. But um, and plus Lex was using cheat codes in those fights.
A1, A1, A1. That was, I got you. I liked it, but it was kind of annoying. Like, I don't know what it was. Like, I'm not gonna like if we're really gonna pick apart the movie. Um, it didn't change my feeling of the movie, but there were moments where he just kept on yelling like A2, A2, and I'm like, did you sink his battleship already or what? Like, can we? But I understood why it felt very comic-y. Uh,
Yeah,
but
that
I
and very Lex Luthor too, because it's like, of course, he has all these memorized where he's not even looking at the screen or anything. He just knows it because he's like, I know every single one of these is gonna hurt him because I've studied every single stupid move he's done since he's gotten here. It's
that was the
stupid
thing.
red and blue guy.
Lex Luthor really in this movie, guys, for people that really haven't seen it or don't care to see it or not sure or just want to hear about it, Superman was getting his butt kicked about 90% of the movie, dude. About
Yeah.
80%. Just when he thought he was in the game, Lex Luthor was one step ahead of he had a contingency plan for a contingency plan for a contingency plan. And to me, that was the coolest thing ever because Lex is just a human, right? He doesn't have his Lex suit yet. He doesn't have anything. He's just human. And sure, he has all these resources, but to see Lex, a human, going up, that was something that I thought has not been portrayed very well in a movie since the Gene Hackman Lex Luthor. And even the Gene Hackman Lex Luthor had his moments. I know a lot of people weren't really happy with him as Lex, but he still played part of it really well. Um, but this Luthor was ripped from the animated series, was ripped from the comic books, and Nicholas Holt, dude, he was awesome as Lex Luthor.
Oh
Unbelievable.
man.
That scene at the end where he tries to run away, he realizes like Superman's there and he tries to run, and Superman just shoulder blocks him into the window. I was,
He
bro,
almost got out of there too. He was like, ah, so close.
I know. But we see this Superman like questioning himself. It took me back to some of the Smallville moments where Superman was questioning, why should I be this hero? Can't I just live my normal life with my family? What, like, we saw that. And I thought they did a really good job exploring why he's this way. And then, of course, the biggest reveal, and I want to ask you about this, when we find out that his parents' message wasn't a message about protection and hope, but was a message of Roman Empire dominating and essentially him banging a bunch of people to create super babies. And then, I mean, if we do it, and that added that doubt. Okay, maybe my family was not this generous family after all. What did you think about that twist? And I have a second follow up to that. What did you think about that when they revealed that in the movie? I didn't see that coming.
I, for a second, honestly, I thought it was like, oh, here we go, classic Lex taking something and bending it, lying or something or like maybe taking it and altering it just enough where it seems like it's false, or he just dubbed over it. And then I figure once someone else got their hands on it, like Mr. Terrific, he was going to be like, oh, he didn't say that. Here's what it actually said.
Right.
Um, I was a little confused. I'm, I'm kind of divided about it, honestly. Like, it's a cool twist because, usually the parents are like, hey, be a symbol of hope. We sent you here to have a happy new life, to be safe, to live out the Kryptonian legacy, stuff like that. And I mean, in a way, they still want him to do that, but in a more, like you said, Empire away.
Superman's about to have a freak off. Like, it's gonna make Diddy nothing, bro. Man, Tony and freak off in the Fortress of Solitude.
Man, it ain't gonna
Baby
be solitude no more.
intergalactic baby oil everywhere.
Oh man, yeah, the Fortress of Freak-Offs. Oh, good lord.
That's
I,
why
I
the robots were so particular. They're like, don't let anybody in, man. They got, like, no, I was thinking about that. Like I thought the same thing. I thought that Lex was going to be, we're going to find out that he altered the tapes, but they didn't do that. They kind of went with that angle that Superman's parents were like, no, you're gonna, take over the world. You're going to be king. In a recent interview, and I'm kind of bouncing, but in a recent interview, James Gunn, they were asked that question. He was asked, who altered the tapes? And James Gunn's like, what makes you think they're altered? Like, this is what they said. And that's it. James
man,
James Gunn has, you know, thrown smoke this way and lit a fire back here. And he's lied to us before about characters and why would it give away the final story, that if it is indeed fake. I personally still think that is a major change to Superman's history and Superman's legacy. I don't mind them taking liberties away from the comics on certain things. I think if you go that route, that essentially he's coming in like Julius Caesar, I think that's a bad move in the long run, and I don't think they're going to do that. I think it's a bigger arc that's just a little clue or a little something that's paving the way for a bigger arc and a bigger villain down the road. So for me, I'm questioning, are those really his parents to begin with? Yeah,
mm,
number one. Or number two, Lex, I don't believe had anything to do with the altering. It's got to be somebody that is smarter, that is knows the knows a lot about the Kryptonian history and the dialect and all that. I think it's somebody that's out in the universe. I'm looking at like a Brainiac type situation.
it sounds
Brainiac.
like a Zod mode move too, honestly.
Well, I would say that, but I don't think that we're going to see Zod. A matter of fact, I don't even want to see Zod. If we really want to be honest,
Yeah, for
I'm done.
sure. Nah.
But if you think about it from a Brainiac level, and he's out there in space just collecting data and watching and manipulating and pulling the strings, I feel like there was almost, and again, I'm reaching, I feel like there was almost some Brainiac teases with technology and AI kind of all throughout. And it might have just been part of, the play and part of what Lex Luthor was doing. I guess I just don't buy that that was the real message. I still don't believe it, but I thought it was interesting that they make you through the whole movie, and even at the end, they don't correct it. They just assume that that's the message, and that's going to be something that's going to be playing with Superman in the next several films and roles. He's still going to have to come to terms with that.
I was thinking about that too, with how that'll come into play for sure, especially when you think about the reveal of another another person related to Superman that we saw.
We're getting back, get to that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was kind of curious, like with the connection to him and her, I'm like, this affects her too, and she must have seen a message of similar caliber because she was
She
sent to help protect, help look after him. But
true. And she probably saw his broken message and then she saw the reality of what was allegedly said. So if her job is to go around and get a harem too, how do I volunteer for that? I'm just
right.
asking for a friend. Just curious. That's fine. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, that was a big move, man. And I think James Gunn has something up his sleeve, but I would honestly wouldn't be surprised if he changed that completely. Although looking at what he's done with Suicide Squad and Creature Commandos and Guardians, he doesn't really change. Like, I mean, he's changed a lot, but he doesn't. That's a big piece of the puzzle. James Gunn doesn't strike me as somebody that would completely just eradicate that Superman history just to put that in there. He's very much, you could tell he's pulling from several comic storylines and comic designs. Look what he did with Green Lantern, which, by the way, absolutely loved him. And that is the coolest Green Lantern we have seen, man, in live action, in my opinion, dude. Am I right?
Yes.
Dude,
Oh yeah.
they even make fun of his haircut too, which is great. Like,
He's just sitting there like, hey, wait a minute. A
right,
lot of these other women loved the haircut. What are you talking about? And he named these specific number too. I'm like, whoa, where's this coming from?
right. I also thought that their introduction of the start of the Justice League or the Justice Gang, as they called it, I thought that
Yeah.
was cool. I love to see the Hall of Justice start its early.
Yes.
That was cool. I love how they connected Max Lord and all that. That was great. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Hawk Girl always looks good to
Oh
look at.
yeah.
My complaint with Hawk Girl, if she ever screeches like that again, that's the dumbest. When they went back to do a test on that, why did they think that was good? It doesn't even sound like a hawk. It sounds like a witch or a bat or an owl. Like, it's the worst, and she does it like 3 times.
I feel like he does it more than that.
Worse than the goats in Thor: Love and Thunder. Okay,
Ooh, I don't know about that. The goats were,
it's
I mean, the goats were funny for me, but at the same time, I don't know.
no, it's worse. It's horrible. So that's my complaint. Like, I have very few, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
But again, the movie was stacked with a lot of characters, and at times it almost felt like there were too many, but I felt like it didn't feel like it was scattered. It didn't feel like none of them had enough screen time. It felt like they all had really good screen time. It felt like they all flowed together very well. It didn't feel jumbled. It felt like the cohesive units of, like, hey, we're Superman. Kid, Superman couldn't make it, but you got an upgrade. Like that. And it
Classic Guy Gardner.
cool, like, I thought, like, to be honest with you, the only character that didn't get enough screen time was Clark Kent. Um, Everybody else, though, I would like to actually seen a little more Clark, but everybody else, I felt like, James Gunn is used to having a giant cast of characters, and he does that. He handles them very well. I didn't think that it was overstuffed. It didn't feel like, a rushed moment to introduce these characters. It didn't feel like the Justice League. It felt really natural and organic. And I thought they all had something to contribute, in my opinion. Um,
Yeah, I think they balanced them pretty good. Um, one of my favorite inclusions was when Superman was kind of, I guess, just, if I remember correctly, this was right after the news broke about his origins, and he's talking to Lois, and you look outside, and there's just this cosmic creature out there, and the Justice Gang are just fighting them. And Lois goes, "Are you gonna? Oh, what's going on out there?" And he literally just says, "Oh, they're fighting some kind of some cosmic imp or something."
yeah,
And I just go, "Did they just reference Mister Mixaplick or whatever his name is?"
bro, we live action Mr. Mixaplick or whatever his name. I still can't say it. We need a live action Mr. Because you know what? He's magic and
Yeah,
space magic, and Superman has no real defense against space magic. You know, I need to see him at some point in my life, dude.
The fact that he casually just says, "Oh yeah, they're just fighting a cosmic imp," definitely implies he's fought him himself before.
Yes, that was a weird scene too. It was a weird scene because I was like, things just appear like out of nowhere, like some cosmic. You know, it does. It's
Or
no different.
interdimensional, something like that. I forget what he
Yeah,
said.
I want to look at a couple because number one, I thought the casting for all these characters were really, really darn good. Um, I thought they were amazing. My only complaint, not only, I did not like the engineer at all.
Oh, how come?
I thought she looked so forced and cheesy and generic. And I hate to put the actress down. I'm not. I just think the character, like all her facial expression, it just feels very much like CW. I was, man, I don't ever want to.
Oh, dang.
I was not into it, dude. I was not, man. She was awful, man. Um, it didn't ruin the movie. I just didn't like when she was on the screen. She's like, "I'm gonna make these awesome saws," and I was like, "This is stupid." Um, but very cliche. I did like the last battle though, like when Superman's finally like, you know, he's
Oh,
on all of those like, what is it? Uh, what is it?
oh,
Not. I keep on calling them like neomes. Um,
I forgot
whatever
what they're called too.
technology or whatever it was. He kept choking on it, and then he was covered, and he just said, "Watch me," and he freaking flew them to space, and then said, "Hold my beer."
Oh, yeah.
Drove him straight. Dude, that was brutal. Like, that's when the Superman started to click on like the powers. That's one thing I didn't like, but I did enjoy like being able to have Rick Flag Senior in there. Thought that was cool. We've had,
Yes.
we had him in Creature Commandos. Same guy who voiced him now plays him. Love it. Super happy about that.
Yeah.
I Jimmy
Coming in
Olsen was.
Peacemaker too as well.
Yep, yep. I thought Jimmy Olsen was good. I thought that was a good Jimmy Olsen. He felt like a Jimmy Olsen.
His whole story arc was hilarious.
Oh, it was wild. Um, Metamorpho. Very cool to see Metamorpho in that film.
I
Um,
love how they included him. And I was really surprised how they included him. I did not expect that, but it makes sense because of, I mean, he's usually in the storylines that I've seen him, he's typically depicted as a tragic,
yeah,
um, anti villain, anti hero type deal.
he's
But
very, and I thought they showed that very well.
yeah,
When he was in that prison and he was forced to torture Superman, almost killed Superman, really. All just wanted his son. Like he,
yeah.
you know, and then he had to witness. You felt his heartbreak, which, by the way, I did not see that coming. Lex Luthor killing our boy when he pulled that trigger.
Oh man.
Not see that coming, dude.
As
Uh,
soon as I saw him there with the gun to his
I was
head, I was like, oh,
that whole scene was dark as could be. Um, which was a great contrast in that movie, which was very comic and very colorful, and it had serious moments, but and emotional moments. But that scene, they did that scene perfect. But you felt that Metamorpho felt like pain, and to have him at the end when he was included in the group and to see that joy, I thought that was great. I also am really happy that they picked the guy who played him. The guy who played him is Anthony Kerrigan. Excuse me. He's been in
sounds familiar.
bunch of movies and shows and all that. Most one that you might recognize the most on the series Gotham, he played Victor Zsasz. Um, and not that
That's
Gotham
an
was,
upgrade.
yeah, not that that was a great show, but Victor Zsasz was awesome in it. Anthony Carrigan actually, and I thought this role was very very special for him because Anthony Carrigan has he's got a condition as well, a form of alopecia that has changed. You know, he's got no hair anywhere. It's got something where it's almost changed part of his eyebrow structure, so he might not be your typical Hollywood dude, but to have to go through life, and he's had to defend it and speak out against it, and then become metamorpho. I thought that was just a really cool actor. He's
Hmm.
a really cool moment for James Gunn to cast him in that role, in my opinion. So I really like that. I also love that James Gunn gave tribute and love to so many different pieces of Superman. You know, having William Reeve in there as a TV reporter for a cameo, having one of the original actor, the one Lex Luthor from Smallville played one of his commandos in The Mask. Yeah, he pulled. There's all these
Ayo.
really cool things in there. Um, Having actually I believe there's another character from Smallville that's in there as well. Um, just really cool stuff, man. And I mean, having a Reeve in there, just how cool is that, you know? Um, so that I really liked. I thought the cast was great. I thought Mr. Terrific was amazing. Way better than I ever imagined him to be. And
Yeah.
like, like seriously, like I, I get why he's been there. Because honestly, it's a character. We read the comics and we could say, yeah. But if we didn't see him in a movie, we'd be like, you could do this whole movie without him. But now that we saw him in that movie, no, we can't do this movie with.
Oh man. Yeah, it's just it's so great how James Gunn was like, all right, let's just sprinkle this character in there, this one, and then this will be this new Justice gang for now, and it just fits. I just because of course everyone knows the OGs, the Trinity, and then the others that we know outside of that, Cyborg, Aquaman, etc. But then seeing others, because we all, you know, like you and me, we've read so many comics, seen so many other iterations of the Justice League. We know that there have been so many other versions outside of the typical one that we usually see, like the one we saw in Snyder's version.
Sure.
So seeing this one and just how they clicked and how they it was like Black Adam, how like we didn't see much of, you know, we didn't need to see like a whole origin story of how their team came together, but we saw enough for them to feel like a team, and that was great.
That's a good call, man, because it's very similar. Because you have the Justice Society and Black Adam, characters that most people probably don't know, unless you're a comic book. You know, the average, Superman fan or superhero fan might not know them, and they just worked. We didn't know how they'd been together, but they felt like they've been together for a long time. And then this, seeing the Justice Gang, um, they felt like they had been together for a long time too, and it flowed and it worked. And then having those moments with Superman where you could tell he's encountered them, but he's not part of that, um, that worked too. And he also, again, he didn't believe in everything they were doing. I mean, Hawk Girl killed that dude, straight up killed that dude, and Superman
Yeah,
no, and he didn't even want them to kill the giant Komodo dragon lizard Pokemon thing. Like, which, if I have to criticize a part, we didn't need that either. We didn't. There was, it was, where did Lex even get that from? Like,
yeah,
just
that
that,
was kind of funny. It was like a monster of the week type deal.
it's just because James Gunn loves to have big giant monsters. Um,
Yeah,
We just didn't need it. I didn't. I think there could have been another. That might have been one of my least favorite parts. I'm not saying it didn't look good, and I'm not saying it didn't, whatever, at least kind of fit in the story. We just didn't need it. But even when they were trying to save that, Superman's like, we can study it and save it, and guy, Green Lantern's like, no, bro, we're gonna kill this stupid thing, okay? So
Oh, a guy was putting like those oven mitts on it and stuff.
yeah, I know they were shooting it in the eyeball. Like she was beating
Oh man.
it. No filter, just complete crash out. Um, and we saw the dynamic between him but it felt natural, and they did a great job with that. Some of the music choices were weird for the movie, but in the same sense, looking back on it, probably worked. Like James Gunn has always been a master of creating awesome soundtracks, so it worked. What did you think about seeing Peacemaker on TV talking about Superman? Like it was like a 4 minute clip, and it was great. Maybe three.
It was hilarious. It felt out of place because I'm like, okay, who's gonna interview Peacemaker? Because I'm thinking about it and I'm like, he doesn't really have a if I remember correctly, he doesn't really have a spotlight to be interviewed. Like if I remember correctly, right? Because he's a part of the Suicide Squad, which means he's meant to be kind of like off the grid.
Yeah,
And
but
then
look at Peacemaker the series. He's free. He's because that's post Suicide Squad.
right,
So he's free, and he's kind of redeemed himself by taking down whatever. And we don't know where Peacemaker 2, how that's going to line up with, we'll get to that. And then,
mm,
yeah, so
that's
I
a
think,
good point.
yeah. Um,
I thought he
but
was still like technically on call with the squad or something. To be
yeah,
honest, like I thought he gained his freedom. I mean, I for sure knew he gained his freedom, but I thought he was still technically on call, which was why he was working with his with Waller's
yeah,
daughter, was it?
yeah.
So, but it felt kind of weird to me, but I wasn't complaining. Like I was happy to see him in that scene.
Well, we have heard him talk about other superheroes, and we saw the cameos in at the end of Peacemaker season 1, and we know that Peacemaker season 2 is going to have a cameo by Hawkgirl and Green Lantern. They're in there. We don't know for how long. We don't know whatever. But so I mean, James Gunn is very committed to showing the interaction of what these characters are. So I thought that was really cool. Um,
Yeah, we
before
don't
we
have to worry about anyone having like a torso only like cameo where you don't see the head up.
you know, and um, before we get into the post-credit scene of Supergirl, where Supergirl appears, which, by the way, I was more excited for Supergirl than I was this movie. Um, I'm very happy to say that I am a was a. This is the first time in a long time that I've been so happy about Superman. I'm not saying that I didn't like Man of Steel. I'm not saying I didn't like Henry Cavill's great. Um, but this is the first time that I've been excited to see where Superman goes. This is the first time in a long time I've decided I've been happy to see any DC product, movie wise, in a long time. Even though I enjoyed Blue Beetle, um, I wasn't an excitement thing. It was just because me and Luke went to it. This is like pure, like, holy crap, I'm ready. And I think I'm going to nerd the crap out about Supergirl because I've been excited about the casting. I've been excited about the movie, like the poster that they just dropped, like 2 days after,
Oh yeah.
bro. And we're going to talk about that because people are like, hey, what's coming? What's happening? Well, we know that we started off with Creature Commandos, which, by the way, that's coming back for season 2. Um,
Oh yes.
we have Superman 20, that's out now. Next year, Supergirl drops. We don't have to wait that long. It's out. It's next year.
Oh,
Uh,
cool. Okay.
The same year, allegedly, they're going to put out the Clayface movie. This one's interesting because this is a Clayface very much in James Gunn's world, but this is like a standalone Clayface movie, an origin story, which is fine because we haven't seen Clayface. And it is very much a horror movie. It is
Oh, I
going to
thought they killed him in Creature Commandos. Huh.
Clayface?
Yeah, unless wait, then
I don't remember seeing Clayface in Creature Commandos. I don't remember seeing him.
he was oh wait, am I mixing stuff up? There was like a scene where he took the place of someone, and then oh yeah, he was fighting Rick Flag Sr.
Yes, and
with
killed him too. Rick Flag almost died.
yeah, and then oh yeah, and Frankenstein, whatever his name is, was with him.
Yeah,
And then they had to
I don't think he died.
that's that's good because that would have been kind of lame if they just killed him off like that.
Yeah, and plus we're getting a whole movie about him, and it's a horror.
Yeah,
I think is great. It's going to be
it
a horror.
fits. That definitely fits.
Now the other movies that we know, the Authority movie got shelved for a while, which I'm fine with.
Oh,
I'm fine with it. Um,
dang, that would have been cool.
they are in the process of James Gunn. He just did a massive interview kind of telling us some things. Um, he wants to fast track Wonder Woman, but not fast track it to the point that we're just going to shove it out there. But it has moved up because he's like, look, Wonder Woman is a pillar of the DC universe, just as much as Batman is, just as much as Superman. We need
It's
to,
Trinity.
yeah, the Holy Trinity. Um, what he said is that you will not see Aquaman anytime soon, um, because we've seen Aquaman the most in the DC characters. He's had two movies. He's appeared in Peacemaker. He's in the Justice League. Like we've seen Aquaman, So now it's time to put some space in between that and develop that post Wonder Woman. He thinks that should come after Wonder Woman. I'm not. Hey, I'm okay with that. Um, we
Makes
do have
sense too, because especially with how Aquaman performed after the whole Amber Turd situation.
exactly. They just wrapped up the Lantern Corps lanterns. They just wrapped up that series, and that series is going to take place post Superman. After the events of Superman, that's when this takes place. So that's very exciting because we're going to get to dive into that whole thing. We get to see more Green Lanterns. We know that just, what is it, August? We have Peacemaker Season 2. Peacemaker Season 2 is also, I think it's taking place the same time as Superman. I have to look into that. Um,
Mhm.
but what James Gunn said in an interview is that the Peacemaker will give us great insight to the overall story and potential villain that's going to be happening during this Gods and Monsters series. That's his first phase, Gods and Monsters. So
Ooh,
I know that's
okay.
great plug for Peacemaker, but it tells me a lot that I love that they're connecting that. So we got that happening. Um, the other thing that he talked about was Batman. Those questions have come up a lot. We do have the script for Batman 2. Um, and then we have he announced Brave and the Bold. That was supposed to come out. It was supposed to be directed by the same guy that did Flash, unfortunately. Um, and that was supposed to come out. James Gunn said Batman 2, Matt Reeves or whatever, that'll come out first before Brave and the Bold. James Gunn also says that he does not want their that Batman to be in his universe. He wants Matt Reeves to do his own thing. Here's the thing, and guys, this all connects. Here's the thing. I'm okay with if you're going to establish a Batman in your own world. But are we going to go the brave and the bold story as your first introduction to Batman in the new DC universe with Damian? Like all right off the bat? Are we going to really truly do that? It seems like a big move to sit there and go, hey, I'm introducing Batman, and oh, by the way, here's a new Robin. It just seems,
Oh,
you know, so I don't think I think we're going to look at two things here. We're going to see Matt Reeves complete his films, and that's it for Robert Pattinson, and then enter a new Batman. Because I'm sorry, I don't think the WB wants two Batman in the same. I don't think they want two Batman. I really don't. I think they've had enough with all this crazy crap that's going on with DC, and I think they are looking for James Gunn to streamline that. And I don't see them taking, hey, here's Matt Reeves, and oh, here's another one. Because guys like you and me can understand the difference. The average public is not going to understand the difference. And then
yeah,
it's
they're gonna
going to
be real confused.
and then it's going to bring up the whole multiversal thing and why. And we don't need that. We do not need the WB's DC universe, James Gunn's universe, does not need to go multiversal storyline. They can have fragments of it, but they don't need to do that. Not when Marvel's trying to wrap up theirs. The fans are going to get sick of that. That's just my opinion. But he did bring up something, and he said Superman is going to be back in another project before Superman 2. But he said, yes, Superman 2 is in the works. He's had an idea and
That's good.
already, but he's got to come back in another project. He said he's also not rushing the Justice League or the big team ups, but he has an overall plan, a villain plan that he feels is going to need more than one movie. So
It's gonna be Superman v Supergirl, Dawn of Kryptonians.
speaking of Kryptonian, think of crypto, man. What were your thoughts of crypto?
I really I was actually really cool with him. I love how he was legitimately just a dog. Like I kind of was expecting them to make him, for lack of a better term, a bit more like sentient. But I like that they just kept him just as a regular dog that isn't really fully trained. He's kind of just like a wild mutt.
He's unhinged. He's unhinged. Looks like
Yeah.
the robots talking about how crazy he is, and even Superman having issues with him. A complete train wreck, dude. Um, I liked him in the beginning. I thought there was too much crypto in the movie. I really did. Um, everything had a dog joke, and I just was too much. I did love that Mr. Stand him. That was great. Um,
He kept
my,
destroying his orbs.
like that part was great. I thought my favorite scene was when Crypto was beating the hell out of Lex Luthor. Like, just
Oh yeah.
crap out of
That
him.
was, oh man, that was
And
so good. I was
oh,
clapping.
dude, that was cool. But I will admit, I thought there was too much crypto in the movie. I'm not against it. It was a fun thing. Again, it was too much. But at the end, we get that lovely surprise cameo by Supergirl, which I did not think that was coming. And we
That
find
was shocking.
it was awesome. And she looks great. Um,
Yeah.
find out that obviously that's her dog, for people that don't know. And then it made sense why that dog is so unhinged when we see a drunk uh stumble talk smack to her cousin, like just rolling in. Like, what the hell? I loved that. And some people are gonna be like, what? But James Gunn has said he is pulling from the storyline Supergirl Women of Tomorrow, which that storyline of the comic book is a look at her past. She has a troubled past. She was sent there to protect her cousin, and then she found out her cousin doesn't need her. And then she's finding out,
Yeah.
and she doesn't have the same, yes, they have the same abilities, but she doesn't have the same, she wasn't grown up the same, she wasn't brought up the same, she doesn't have that support system. She goes to other planets to get drunk. That's in the comic books. Like in World of Tomorrow, she's literally getting wasted and sleeping around. They don't. You know what I mean? So on intergalactic, booty calls. I mean, all right, it has crypto in there. Crypto rolls along with her. So James Gunn is pulling from that, and that's what he's going to pull for in the movie. And he's also doing something interesting because, as you know, Jason Momoa will be playing Lobo in that movie, which is
Yeah.
great. Um, Lobo was originally supposed to be in the World of Tomorrow comic book storyline, but they ran out of time when they were making it and they pulled his character. So James Gunn is putting that character in the World of Tomorrow's, inspired storyline. Um, and he said flat out, Supergirl's going to have a very different feel. It's going to have a very different feel to this movie. It's not going to be the same old Boy Scout. It's going to be a little bit darker. It's going to be a lot of trauma, a lot of history, and they're going to start to come together. And I think we're going to see what people aren't used to is seeing these major characters actually develop over time. We're used to seeing the formula of this is the origin story. This is what they try to do. This is how they get there. This is the end. I mean, even Iron Man, and I'm not bashing it, Iron Man had the origin story, right? And then he developed over time, and then he was the Avengers, he saved the world. We're used to seeing Superman fly to Earth, be raised. He's a good boy. He fights evil. Done, right? We're used to seeing Supergirl in the one time we saw her in the live action movie, you know, comes to Earth, but they don't even mention Superman in the live action movie at all. They just have Supergirl. It's not till the Supergirl series that they even talk about Superman.
Oh yeah.
It's the same. So we're not used to seeing a vulnerable Superman learn about his place in this world, learn about his relationship with Lois, his powers, and now we're going to see a young teenager, young woman, adult Supergirl, in 20s or whatever that is. And we're going to see her. What is going on over there, bro? Anyway, we're going to see her deal with her own trauma without anybody's help. Because I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think Superman's going to be in this movie at all. So I,
Nah.
I got to tell you, man, I'm all on board, dude. There goes my light. Hold on, I knew something was going to go wrong with my light, guys. The light started tripping. Uh, but yeah, like I think what James Gunn is doing is really fresh and unique. And not everything's going to be a hit. But man, I got to tell you, he's off to a good start. What do you got?
Yeah. I I'm excited. I'm bummed about the a few of the changes, but I mean, with what they're replacing with it, I'm happy with that. It's definitely great compensation. Um, I'm glad the Supergirl is coming that fast.
Bro.
Involving Lobo, like that's fantastic, and especially after watching the animated series, the last couple episodes I watched had Lobo in it, so getting refreshed on like the dopeness of Lobo was really cool, and yeah, that's like such a great casting for Jason Momoa, so I'm happy about that.
That
Um,
call that James Gunn made was to Jason Momoa and say, I need you as Lobo. And he's like, okay, done. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
um, plus, I mean, that dude can get jacked so fast, Um, and I think it's cool because, I mean, Lobo is that alien bounty hunter. he's fought Superman several times and put it to him, man. Seeing him smoking that big cigar with some giant guns, like I'm all on board, man. And I guess Supergirl's not going to be as friendly. I mean, it's still probably not going to be like R rated, but it's not going to be as friendly as Superman. And dude, I'm here for it. I already want to know what are the popcorn buckets like for Supergirl. I need a Supergirl cup. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and
I'm ex-
it makes a lot of sense.
yeah, it makes
Oop.
perfect. You said you were watching the animated stuff. It's funny you say that. I've been going back and watching some of the animated movies that I've missed. So I watched like Death of Superman, The Reign of Superman. I just watched Crisis on Infinite Earths, all three parts. Um, it was pretty good. That wasn't my favorite, but and
Yeah, I felt the same.
yeah, I
It
felt like
was cool, but yeah.
they didn't need three parts. I felt like because part three should have been the big, and it just dragged. But whatever. I think tonight I probably won't watch anything. I'll probably just go to bed. But I want to start Doom. Superman Doom or Batman Doom, where he teams up with the Justice. I'm just trying to go back and watch a lot of those animated DC movies that I truly just missed completely. So it's been fun to watch that though, to kind of see what characters James Gunn is using and what he's drawing inspiration from. I think it's cool. So, any parts of the movie that maybe you weren't a fan of or that stuck out that you're like, how are they going to deal with this in the future? Anything like that? Any, I don't know, any things that you saw that you're like, ooh, check this out. I don't know, random stuff.
I'm definitely curious to see um, how people are going to look at Superman going forward. Because I know for sure that people are, happy with him again and sorry for doubting him. But I still think there are going to be people out there that are still going to be like, nah, 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 nah.
Oh, there,
That message. We don't like that message. Nah, no, no, thank you, Superman.
yeah, Fox News is one of the jerks. Stuart and I actually did, and it might be out by, I think it comes out this week or next week. Stuart and I did a show on Trash Talk where I rip Fox News apart. Um, we're talking about Superman, and they're talking about how woke it is and how
Oh, good Lord.
which the terminology doesn't even make sense. Also, by the way, um, if they looked up the term woke, comic books have been woke since they were invented. So, um, and that's to draw attention to social injustices. Comic books have been doing that. X-Men did it. Superman did it, and they start talking about how they're debating. This was true. They're debating on Fox News if Superman was an illegal alien, like illegal, like should he even be here, or was he a what's the word I'm looking for? Not traveler. I'm tired, guys. Comes over to Ellis Island and does it the right way. Immigrant. Was he an immigrant or is he an illegal?
Oh, right, right.
And they were debating this. This wasn't just even trying to. They were debating this, and I'm like, first off, bro, my man came to Earth. He didn't even have a choice. He was shot in a spaceship as a baby. He didn't even know. Second off, that same alien, by the way, he's legitimately an alien. Fictitious alien, mind you, so I'm not sure why this is on the news. Um, he's also the same fictitious alien that saves Earth all the time. Like, it was so stupid, dude, that they continue to.
Yeah.
I know, it's bad. But you're right. There are
Oh,
people,
man.
content creators that just glaze Snyder, but there's also some that just sit there, and it's great if you appreciate Zack Snyder's version and you wanted to see that direction. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not going to happen. It's dead now, so stop it. um, we're gonna just bash this version. Like I literally had a guy come
Ugh.
on and just talk about how this version just didn't do it. He didn't like it. He didn't like the costume. He didn't like the humor. And I'm like, okay, I don't know, man, but I'm happy with the way they're going, and I also don't think that the next time you see Superman, it's going to be the same. I think we are going to see the evolution of Superman. I think you're going to have moments where he is going to get dark. He's going to have to lean into that anger side to beat some of these villains. I think he's going to have to deal with that tragedy. Um, but he's still
Like he
the man,
did with Darkseid.
still the man. And by the way, I hope we don't get Darkseid for a long time. So um, I think there's
Yeah,
other.
there are plenty of other people.
I
Yeah,
want Brainiac, man. I want me some Brainiac, dude. But I want Brainiac. But there's so many other characters, you know. I'm
Mongul
excited.
would be cool.
What other characters could he fight? Like who else? So many.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back to this series. I know Mongul would be cool.
Yeah.
Bizarro would be really interesting.
What do you think is going to happen with this version of Ultraman? Do we think that he's gone, or do you think that this Ultraman was? See, I thought he was hinted at turning into Bizarro because
I was thinking that too, actually.
they called him dumb, and
Yeah.
although he kind of yeah, and then he got shoved in the black hole, and I'm like, he's not gone. I'm like, he could turn into Bizarro.
Ooh, that would be so dope.
Somebody said,
That would be really dope.
what if he gets shoved in the black hole and he turns into our version of Doomsday? And I was like,
Holy
that's
crap.
that's a wild trip. Like we went down that path. I don't think that's going to happen, but I could see him going
Yeah,
to
I prefer Bizarro.
Bizarro. Yeah, that could be cool. Um, I think you got to play with those guys.
Especially it being in a pocket dimension too, because I mean, that dimension was just so crazy, and I mean, just the fact that there were random black holes in there. I'm like, it, yeah, that would be really cool. I mean, it's very comic booky, and I think they could explain a way for him to end up in those to not be like maybe not true black holes, but um because when you see how close they got to those black holes, and I'm like, I know they're super beings, they're metas, but I'm like, bro, y'all would have been spaghettified. I'm
Right.
not trying to be I'm not trying to be cinema sins here, but y'all were like y'all could reach out and touch the black hole at that point.
That's what I'm saying. So they might not be black holes. They're just touching, to another area in the universe or another dimension. And we've started to play with that. I thought that was very interesting that they introduced so much of those multi-dimensional aspects in the very first movie. So I think that could play a role in who's coming and what's happening and all that. But overall, man, great movie, great showing for DC. James Gunn also said that Blue Beetle is coming back, and they did an interview with the Blue Beetle character, and I guess he had a phone call with James Gunn, and they're working on the script for the next installment of the movie or the next time he's there. But James Gunn is keeping him, which I thought was cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's really saying something, like a whole thing, a whole restructure, and you actually not only stay as the same character, but you, wow, that's definitely saying something, because like no one else got that honor
and I
except
think
for Peacemaker and the other guys. But that's a different story.
yeah, but I think you could see Blue Beetle appear in something. I think you could see Blue Beetle appear in one of these other movies. Maybe not Supergirl, but could see him appear in Superman. You could see him appear in one of these other films or series that they're doing. But I'm excited because I actually thought Blue Beetle had a lot of potential and it was entertaining when I saw it. So, and James Gunn even said then that he liked the movie and he wanted to do more with that character. So, I think that that's cool. I think it's cool for the kid, and I think it's cool for the kids because I think we'll get to see Blue Beetle kind of be the Spider-Man of the Justice League, sort of maybe,
Oh yeah.
which could work, you know. So anyway, it's late. Overall, everybody should go see Superman. Um, Tomorrow, I say this tomorrow because by the time this airs, it'll be a Wednesday. So tomorrow, I am going on Thursday to see Fantastic Four. So um, I am real.
Ooh.
Yeah, we got another podcast coming up, baby.
Yes. I
You got
cannot wait.
you got to see Fantastic Four before you go on your cruise, man. So we gotta make
Oh
sure.
yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. So I don't know if we'll be back next week together. It all depends on when Nick can work out. He's got a lot going on when he can get Fantastic Four in. If not, don't worry. I got another one in the chamber ready to go. Um, but if not, we will be back with our part two very soon. Fantastic Four. And I said it before, man, this has been the summer of movie. We have been eating well in the movie theater, guys. I know
Yeah.
you saw Jurassic Park and you were a fan. I haven't seen it yet. I'm still streaming. But man, from Minecraft to this to 28 years later, um, we got some good stuff. And there's been some other movies that have just popped in and out of here that have just been really good. It's been a good time for movies, man. And I'm very excited to wrap it up with Fantastic Four. And then August is kind of a slow month. There's just a couple little here and there, but before you know it, we'll be talking about Peacemaker 2 and getting ready for Supergirl. So, I mean, uh, Mar-
Oh.
Marvel has made a lot of announcements too. Kevin Feige just had a massive interview. We'll discuss some of that. Yeah, we'll discuss some of that on the next episode. I'm out of water. On the next episode that we do together. So, guys, get your tickets. Go out to the movies. I will be seeing Fantastic Four. I'll give my reviews, and then Nick and I will dive in and nerd out about that one. So, Nick, always
Probably
love.
try to see it that day too, because the tickets tend to be cheaper. Especially at AMC, they lowered their prices for the weekdays.
Yeah, I saw my. I got it on Thursday. Originally, I was going to go on Friday, and then I looked, and I was like, "Wait a minute, what am I going to do with my kid? Like, I can't go." And he doesn't know desire to really see it. Quite frankly, I don't really want him to go see it. I need to go see it by myself, you know. So I bumped it up to Thursday. I'll be seeing it Thursday. I'm stoked. I'm probably everybody's like, "What popcorn you bucket gonna get?" Look, probably none. The other ones are pretty.
Reed Richards,
That one's cool. Yeah, I tell you what,
the extra stretchy.
he might be candidate number one in Supergirl's, harem of men. You know what I'm saying? He's out here bragging, but but I definitely want to get a cup. All right. Reed Richard needs. All right. Oh, by the way, just a little teaser. Just a little teaser. The post-credit scene for Fantastic Four was directed by the Russo brothers. So
Oh,
I don't know what that
is
means,
it?
but think we had the Thunderbolts post-credit scene, and now yeah, I don't know. We're not going to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it in the next, whenever we get back together in the Life of an Average Show. Yeah, man, I found that out. Kevin Feige was
Wow,
vomiting at the mouth, dude, with all kinds of stuff today. So, are we actually
that's
going to?
nuts.
Are we going to get into a moment like over the next year or two where DC and Marvel are both just freaking cooking? Is that what's about to happen?
I think so. It's gonna be good.
Let's go, man. I'm ready for it. So,
Yes.
all right. Well, Nick, always an honor. Appreciate you, sir. Uh,
You
you will be,
too. Thanks for having me.
heck yeah, heck yeah. I will see you on the Fortnite playing fields soon. So,
Yes.
that's all Luke talks about, man, was Nick playing, dude. I'm like, bro, it's like a 2.5 hour, 3 hour difference. So we have to, you know, time it. And he's like, that's okay. And I'm like, all right. Anyway, we'll be back and hopefully next week. If not, the week after. It all depends. But Fantastic Four, Superman. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Later, Gator. I think I ended it. Did I end it?